Bitcoin's alive, what you gonna do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We have the guys from Bitmap Studio. These guys have been building on Bitmap for a long time. I'm really glad to have them on. It's really cool to be able to highlight Bitmaps once in a while. Obviously, Bitmap is our logo, and we want it to be very successful. And, the price action isn't successful, but it's all about the building, and the price action will come later. I think that's a big thing that's happening in the space. Everyone lives and dies by price action, but guys, it's not that deep. We need to look past that. We need to zoom out, and we need to see where we're going to be in a few years, a few months, right? I think Bitmap is going to be the most successful thing in ordinals, and it's all about these builders, and the more people building on this stuff, the better it'll be. And we at Ordinal Revolution want to showcase that. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
How important is Bitmaps, and how important is people building on Bitmaps?
I think Bitmap as a fundamental asset class is extremely important for numerous reasons. One, it educated a lot of people on how the Bitcoin blockchain worked, right? And Bitcoin blocks. So it was almost kind of like a lot of us were little kids, and we were getting taught how the blocks worked and the data from the blocks through bitmaps. And I got to give a lot of credit to the block runners, right? Because they were, definitely a big part of that initiative. But the builders in Bitmap are really starting to come together, I feel like, right? Now there is, these little, I don't know, quarrels, I guess you would say, between just different ways of doing things. But all that stuff will work its way out, just like how Bitcoin did, right? So I think more than any type of tribalism or, hey, we're doing it right this way or doing it right that way, let's celebrate the fact that Bitmap exists and that there is a builder ecosystem. And that's exactly what, I think today's episode is going to be about, with Bitmap Studio. And, they're partnering with one of our partners, right? And Foxy, and we can get into that later. But that just shows the cohesiveness, I think, that is there that maybe some people are not maybe thinking exists within this ecosystem.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Yeah, like I said, I think Bitmaps is going to be absolutely huge in the future, but it's not all about price action, right? Should we care about what price action we're at?
So there's two different camps. I think that the people that really have a lot of passion for bitmaps don't necessarily care so much about the price action, but more than anything, they care a bit more about, attention. Right. So there are some people that really do care about price action. And I think those people are more of trying to figure out what's going on. They're playing the internet sleuth, right? The detective. And it's that necessarily they don't care about the bitmap itself, the asset class, but more about like, are my bags going to go to zero? Versus the people that you might think care about price, but it's more about they don't want the focus to get away from Bitmap, right? And I think that is understandable, right? You don't want this thing you care a lot about to lose the attention that you think it deserves, right? So that's 100%. What I think about that.
I couldn't agree more. It'll never be about the price action. It'll always be about who's building there. Because being in crypto is very speculative, right? So, but if you find something and you truly think it's going to be successful, the stuff in between means nothing. It's all about who is building there. And today we have two top builders that are building on Bitmap.
Exactly. Right. This team, we've seen them. They're both OGs in the space with El Trillionaire and then J-Rod, right? Especially in the Bitmap space, OGs. And so it's great to see, a project like this, because I think it might have been, the great Shizzy that was screaming to the mountain at the mountaintops. I want to say maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, saying, we need builders in Bitmap. We need builders. Yeah. Well, here we go. We got some builders, and I'm really excited to really dive in and learn about what these guys are doing.
Let's do it. J-Rod, El Trillionaire, Bitmap Studio. What's up, buddy?
What's
Hey
up, guys?
How are y'all doing?
Awesome on this fantastic day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely amazing.
That's
All right,
amazing.
guys, we want to dig into Bitmap Studio and everything you guys are building, but first, kind of want to learn about you guys, man. I always say, you know, you never really have a good space without good people, and let's kind of dig into what you guys have, your backgrounds, maybe your crypto journeys. We'll start with you, J-Rod.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for allowing us to be here. Really appreciate it, first of all. My background, I entered crypto actually fairly late. I would say November 2020. Like many of us, we started with Ethereum and messing around with tokens and so forth. That was my journey. Actually landed onto Ordinals back in April, May-ish of last year. I was part of the Zen community, and at that time, good old Jack, Vampire Jack, he brought us all over. So, actually fortunate that I was part of that community because they were kind of like they attended the BTC conference. They kind of like illuminated that this was going to be the future, and I paid attention. So I minted that their first BRC 20, kind of got schooled on Taproot and Ordinals, and then I never left. I remained in Ordinals. A lot of the guys, they kind of left, put one foot in, one foot out, but I remained. I learned as much as possible, developed a lot of friendships along the way, and was fortunate enough also to mint Bitmap. And when the whole Bitmap phase was spreading last year, I kind of understood that Bitcoin lacked a metaverse, so I kind of went all in with Bitmap. I was talking all about it with family and friends, and even though there wasn't any development at that current time, I knew that that's where everything was going to go to. So, fast forward between the blockout of Bitmap and the later part of this year, me and Trillionaire, we connected, communicated on various levels, and then we both entered into the Bitmap Emporium, the pre-mint days. That was a pretty intensive time. Both him, myself, and a few others were responsible for. We were holding weekly Twitter Spaces and posting out daily content and images and so forth. So, yeah, we were very active in the Emporium. It was a successful mint, and I was just trying to get really associated with anything related to Bitmap, even though at that time we didn't quite know exactly what Limitless had planned at that time. Post mint, myself and Trillionaire, we kind of, just to summarize, we kind of like took uh, a backstage view and looked at the existing market cap. You, of course, Shizzy, you were kind of driving everybody. Where are the developers on Bitmap? And we came together and we observed that there was kind of like a lack of a standard in um, avatar development. People were at that time developing a BRC 420 avatar model, and we'll get into that later. But we were lacking the standard. We were lacking the lack of an actual avatar collection where people would push a mint button and they were actually receiving an avatar. So we observed that, and and the rest is history. We formed a formal game plan, located an extensive, very experienced developer for Bitcoin, and so very surprised that we were able to do it because it's a very complex technology that came about. So, in essence, that's my background with crypto, and I'm just happy to be here, just ecstatic.
Yeah. Well, I think you made all the right decisions along that journey of kind of staying around while a lot of the Zen community probably bounced out. Shizzy has a little bit of a similar journey
I do.
with Zen, but
Dude, I did. Your story is. I got in August 2020. You know, I came over here, pre for like Yagobi kind of steered me up here, but I was definitely in the Zen community. I still have mints that I no longer want. But I don't even want to. I don't even want to get them anymore. But I still pay attention. You know, I play in Titan X now and over there and stuff. So I still play a little bit. I just play a little bit. But yeah, my story is very similar to yours, which is awesome.
Interesting.
Yep.
Are you still in Zen?
Oh, I burned all my Zen, with expectation for the upcoming
Yeah.
X1 launch. So I know
Gotcha.
that Jack Levin's really, doing something on Solana. So yeah, I have a good stake in that. I'm waiting to claim. So yeah,
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
I
I did
learned
the
a
same.
lot with them. Love that community. Love the first principles. That's kind of
Yeah.
what brought me over to Bitcoin.
Yeah, and Bitmap for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jack did bring a lot of people over to the ordinal space, man. I remember whenever, and I know exactly what conference you were talking about because we were covering. We had just barely been covering the space, and it was ribbit every day from him. He was jumping in the frog spaces, but yeah, that's an awesome story, J Rod. I mean, I think there's a couple similar stories to that, and the ones that stuck around, I think, are going to benefit immensely. And you're one of those, so that's awesome. El Trillionaire, if we could hear a little bit about your background as well, and what led you into the Bitcoin ordinal and eventually Bitmap space.
All right. Yeah, 100%, guys. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for having us in the show. That is, we appreciate the job you guys doing 24/7. We're in the grind. It's really appreciated there and watching this. So it's a pleasure to be around you guys. So basically, first contact I had with the whole Web3 and crypto stuff was around 2017, right? I just have some curiosity. I was working a place, and as a guy, it was very insane because he was kind of like in the streets, and he always with the t-shirts talking about BTC and all that. And this guy spikes me the curiosity. One day I come and talk with him, and he kind of like explain a bit more. I was like, okay, sounds fine to me, sounds cool. But by the time I don't really dig it deep in on it, but was on top of my mind for sure. And then I remember that the whole bull run pass and all that, I was not really involved. It's kind of like I give the idea, but by the time I was not really in a financial position to really, I thought I was not in the position, right? I was lacking some mental development yet. So I took the time to develop myself. And then I remember one day I was in my home, was 2020, right? I'm living in Europe, and we was on the quarantine things, the lockdown, all that. And I don't know, man. I always look to the news through the digital, but for some reason this day I look to the physical news, and then I saw BTC was around 3.5K, like 3.5K. I was like, man, what? And like I had this idea clear on my mind. I was like, I think this is something that is gonna happen. Like it's gonna be, but I didn't knew by the time that we could buy like fractions. I thought we need to buy like the whole BTC. So when it was like 20K, I couldn't enter because of that. Because like I say, I was like of self development on the way. So by the time I already knew that we could enter with a fraction, I was like, man, I'm jumping. And basically, I entry with that. I even tried to talk with my family. And at the same day was some crazy because the same day I was just in the house of a friend, and they was hosting the same day in the night. They are with like 5 more friends, and they were all hosting some sort of internal meeting talking about crypto. So that for me was like the confirmation, right? I was like, this cannot be real because it was just crazy for me, in my opinion. It was like, it was not something that I always doing and be in the home of this friend, nothing like that. It was the first time I was there, by the way. And it just happened to be the exactly same day. So I was like, man, this cannot be just coincidence. So I stick there. I started to investigate, and it was very intense because I started. By the time we were like leaving, let's say like 2020, then we started to move on 2021. All that we leave the utility, run. It was like everything about utility. So all those projects with those great ideas, I was like, man, this is insane. I want to enter in there. And I started to dig more. My journey don't really started with a Ethereum L1. It really started with a DeFi side with the explode in 2021. I started with the Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, all those side chains. I was deep on the DeFi. This really passionate about this. I started to make all those liquid pools, swaps, and participate on these early tokens. And then I passed through all this process that you guys and everybody will probably pass if you don't have pass, like hug pools and projects that result in nothing. I got hacked one time. That was sad. It was like I was grinding since 2020, and the first wave we have in 2021, as I was so new and innocent by the time, I didn't sold all my bags on the first wave. So it took the whole correction. I was there, like resistant. I was like, nah, man, I'm in holding diamond hands, and and then by the time when the market started to react to the second wave, I got rocked. I got hacked. I got hacked right away. So I lose lots of my investment and things. But it was a big lesson because as I had not taken any profits, that was one of the most values I took because I mean I took profits, but not significant profits. So I was kind of like reinvesting. So the time I was like, okay, cool. Now I have a values lesson that is we need to also enjoy those profits, right? To feel alive, right? So then I had the business by the time, and the business was doing pretty good, but was not really something that I was really feeling inspired anymore. And then I find somebody that was interested in the idea. I was like, we talk, we come together. I was like, sold the business, making sure and go all in on crypto. And then I did all in on crypto. I took the second wave, and then my life changed forever because I started to meet with more and more interested people with a nice mindset. And I was in a nice position that I felt inspired every day and also make some money, even though it started the bear marketing. But I bought many of those trade courses, participate on this trade chat. So I kind of learned how to learn the room. I was doing very good on trade. That was the time that I was pretty solid on profits. And that happened by the time when I noticed about what happened on the BTC with the originals was somebody on my timeline commenting about those dot sats and dot BTC, right? It was very early days. And I already had by the time many of those EVM. By the way, I have like the talk about Ethereum, talk about dot Ethereum. I think I'm gonna make some interesting bags in the future with these. But yeah, making story short was like that. So I come up, I registered some of those dot size, but it was not something that really inspired me. I didn't really take a look because, like I said, I was solid on the trade side and the DeFi side, make some nice profits. And then I learned about bitmaps. I come over, I told I had mint a whole bunch, but what happened was like I have everything on the same single file, let's say like that with the Uniside. I didn't select the book inscription. So I have a gigantic inscription of many blocks, but they are all invalid ones. So it's like I lose that the first thing, but was not a problem, man. I come back when I started to buy those bitmaps. I think it was around $7, $15 then, and they started to move real quick. By the way, after this, they started to really move it real quick. When I come back to check all my blocks, and I figured out there was block out and none of them was a valid one. I was like, man, because I knew if it was BTC, I was like, man, there is no way this is not gonna succeed. There's no way. I don't really have the whole idea because I don't. By the time I didn't have where to find the information. But then, man, I come up, log out there, and started to investigate more and more and more. I keep involved. I started to buy some originals, and yeah, by the beginning of the year, I jumped on the Emporium. There was great community. There was exactly was what I needed by the time, man. There's a lot of a great mindset there. A big shout out, by the way, to all the residents. There are some values people I can tell you because have a bunch of private conversation with those guys. They have really great ideas. They are good people there. Among a bunch of them, there is very good. Some of them launch projects too, like blankets and all those guys. I met J Raw was the one that most resonate, and we started to talk a lot. J Raw is a great guy, great mindset. Helps me also have somebody that you can kind of trust, right? I think I remember you guys kind of tell your history too. Was like, it was not you guys met on real life, you met in the space. So basically, that what happened with me and J Rod, and that is great way to happen, right? You have somebody that you can talk about the stuff all the day, stuff that you like and inspire you. So that happened then. We started in the Emporium, and then we proceeded, me and J Rod, to have all those conversations and just feel great, man. Just feel great. Yeah. Big shout out to Limitless too, brother. How you doing, man? What is that? Give us some reaction. We are, two of the most OG members here, brother. We waiting on to see you on the timeline, make something comment about us, some post or anything like that, brother. We've been
Mhm.
supporting this since the beginning. So look at where we are now. These two legends here. Yagobi, Shizzy, that is two legends for real. Guys, you big one like we talk with the block runner and all the legends, guys. It's all the people that inspire us. And today we are here, right? So feels great, man. Feels great to support Bitmap. Is I think is the one, just like Shizzy say, one that have the most strong narrative in the whole originals. It's gonna be Bitmap, and it's necessary to connect with each all the buildings, all that, to figure out how we're gonna move forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
I agree with you 1,000% in terms of like finding that maybe like business partner, or before you can say, oh, would you want to be a business partner, you will already kind of know, right? And that seems like what you get found with J Rod, and me and Shizzy have that very similar experience, and I'm sure Block Runners has that as well. But yeah, I mean, that was an amazing story, man. I think like 95% of people in crypto that stuck around after they went through the bumps and bruises have a similar story to what you told, because I know I did too. I went through my tuition, as we like to call it on the show, and you guys stuck through it, and you're here now. So would love to learn more about Bitmap Studios. Obviously J Rod told us, you saw a need in the bitmap space of, a simple way to mint avatars and a simple standard. So I guess since you brought it up, J Rod, could you kind of talk about like what your standard is with the avatars, and what that process is like if I want to, deploy or mint one? What does that look like?
Yeah. So what happened on this journey? Before I get to that, so there's a little history. I saw the BRC 420 avatars that were being pumped and launched on the marketplace, and basically, I wanted to kind of I have experience with that, but I wanted to learn the process because it's totally different when it's related to Bitcoin, and I wanted to learn about that if I was going to make the uh, the action. Me and Troy were already talking something about metaverse related. So I just wanted to just grab a process to kind of learn it. So I big shout out to Urban Boar and the whole Bitmap news community. I respect those guys. I remember Urban Boar was designing a lot of those avatars. So well, I was attempting to learn that process. Unfortunately, it didn't. I didn't um, learn it through him. El Trillionaire actually, uh, he went out and self learned in like 15 minutes, and then he sent me a message because we had a rune at that time, and we were considering, having an avatar with this Tony Montana. So he sent me a message.
Oh, we lose J Rod, I think so.
Yeah, I think he might have had a disconnection,
Can be
possibly
probably some battery,
with this.
but
Yeah,
I can proceed with that if you guys
yeah,
Yeah,
think
yeah.
sounds right.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Right. So yeah, make the start short but precisely was like actually I took like a couple hours to figure out how to do it because this was inscribed dot space, and we've been trying to contact those guy. By the way, if you are out there, guys, you did a nice, great job for the whole Bitmap community with this, right? We want to recognize this because it started from there. They have a public documentation how to build your own avatars, right? Like J. Roy mentioned, We have one of those guys that was urban boy in the Emporium at the time, and he was always shielding this thing, but the design itself, they don't really inspire me, right? Don't really inspire me. I was like, nah, man, I want to take this more like that. And we were like, man, what this dude always just shielding this thing. But at the end of the day, he was right. He was right with the thing. It was like, that's the thing. So I move on when we have those Tony Montana things. J Rock come up in the chat and say like that. Hey man, we were talking like how can we promote this, right? Because was an event we just come up say like man, it's something that we can do. It's completely open. We share it with everybody. The Mint is still open, by the way. It's like no pre-mine, none of that. It was just like we just started to experiment with the space, trying to figure out. We told other guys, look, bro, this is not an investment. We're trying to just understand how the mechanics work and figure out how we can work with these and maybe we can produce a great community. It's something that we like, that is Tony Montana, make part of our lives. Like, there's all the moves. But then he come up and say like, hey man, you know what would be good to maybe promote this thing? Let's make an avatar. And I was like, yeah, man, that makes sense. What's something like I say, I was looking there in the back in the day since inscribe.space, I dropped those things. And I was like, yeah, let me take a look if I can do this. And then I go there like a couple hours and I studio all the thing. I think I got this thing figured out. And I jump in the chat back. I was like, bro, I think I had this thing figured out. Let's cross fingers. I'm trying to deploy this thing. He really happy like that. It really happy like that. We deploy and just for me to like just things just happen, man. Same way they happened with me that day with the BTC. Was exactly same day there was birthday party of one of those guys. And they are kind of host an event inside of that. So we say, okay, that's good. Let's go there. Let's test this Tony Montana thing. And we go there, we participate in the event and all that. We make all the videos. It was like, yeah, man, that was fun. It was like, okay, that was fun, And then we come back, and I already by the time I already have the idea, like, man, I think people have no idea. You can have some sort of fun with your bitmaps already. You can build on top of that, and I believe the one of the real conditions that is not the bridge that is not in place, it's the avatars. It's the avatar because it's the easiest way to anyone to have access to these, right? And so I in my mind, by the time I already have in my mind, like, man, I want to we need to have a way to launch a collection because but by with this in existing system was not possible to launch a collection, right? There is no way to you to produce like whitelist, set up means time, none of them was happening like it happened in the BSC for 20 marketplace. So you guys already know, you guys already launched the original pass, there, and you guys had to mint all the pairs and airdrop to all the people that are subscribed to the channel, right? That was happy by that, right? Was there, right? I know that I have one of them. That's how it happened, right? Was an
Yeah,
airdrop.
yeah. We did airdrop it to the to our paid members. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There, we had to mint them to ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's might be a configuration that is going to be added in the future. But yeah,
I think
that
so.
was kind of a like an issue. I think is no ability to whitelist, basically.
To whitelist, exactly, man. And you cannot really launch a collection if you're trying to launch a collection. Let's say you want to make like yourselves make unique avatars because that's another point. It's like how are you gonna create because by the time I was like, man, I think this is a great idea to onboard and we can finally have those people producing content on Web2 come up and maybe start to want to produce content here. So a main point and a very, very important point was that the need to be unique. Somebody needs to look, okay, this is like you have a PFP, for example. They need to look and say, oh no, I know this is somebody else if they don't want to dox it. And just the same way you are a human being, nobody's like you. If somebody say Yagobi, they already know, okay, this is Yagobi. Oh, this is if they say Shizzy, this is already Shizzy. There is no way. Imagine if you have like 200 same Yagobi around how you're gonna build your own brands, right? There is no way to do this. So we identifying these. I identified by the time I was like, man, I want to make a collection, but I didn't say nothing because I didn't have the roots on how to do it, right? So I was like, man, let me walk through this on my mind. I don't want to just come up and react somebody say, hey, I want to do this, just like a idea, right? I want to have more solid idea. But what happened is me and J Raw, we just talk it other, and And I don't know, man. They just come up like, man, we should make a collection of these. And I was like, yeah, man, I was thinking about that, but we need to figure out how. In my opinion, there is no reason and no sense to launch a collection that all the avatars are the same. You cannot make people have a whitelist and have a specific time that you can launch and all that. We need to take this thing more serious and build something else. So we keep talking, all the details. We started to wake up every day, talk about that. And I feels like, okay, man, we are on the real energy with this. We are on the real energy. We need to put more effort and attention to this because it seems like it's come true and it can happen. It's what a way more real serious projects that I mean, I have nothing against meme coins, right? I think meme coins very fun. I'm gonna hold a bunch of them, I'm gonna participate on these, make a whole lot of profits, but what I'm trying to say, I think it's not comparison to be building like a meme coin to build real projects where you develop tools for the ecosystem and you can help anyone that is trying to make true this, right? And even more related to the Bitmap because is one of the things I'm most bullish. It's the second one because the first one is the BTC for me, but Bitmap is definitely the first of originals, right? So we just say like, okay, J. Rob, let's take this thing to the next level. Let's work on the code process. Let's make this happen and we say, right, let's go. So we started to meet with many developers. I know a bit of code. I was trying to figure it out, but I realized that we need somebody that have more experience. So we started reacting, talk with many dev. By the way, we started to even pay to talk with those dev because many of those guys not even for free, just for talk with him and explain your idea, right? You need to pay just for the time. Yeah, I think is fair enough for this, right? So we gotta and just what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying this because maybe some people don't realize what was really going on, right? It's like it was not just a play, some fun, a game. They were serious since the beginning. We are really pushing, pick it off our own pockets to assume the risk to do something that we believe we have this vision for the first place. So we are assuming this, making multiple meetings with different devs, and we finally have a couple ones that was working already on originals and one of them was very very good, man. They have all the technical levels, very education. He have a business that is registered, so give us all the security. So okay, this seems to be a trustful source. Let's move forward with him. So we start to develop. He already say like, okay, it's possible to do, guys. It's possible to do. We need some time to figure out how we're gonna move forward, but it's definitely possible to do, you know. And we had a couple ways to make it, right? A couple ways to make it, and so the main points that we finally go through and realize that it was possible. We make sure we have this figured out, and then we proceed to announce that. The moment we announced, that was crazy. You know, you guys, you guys have seen this how these guys act in the timeline. These other dudes, they don't really take the time to understand how things work. They already started to make some assumptions. Was a stormy, man, but also same thing with the hack. This type of situation makes you strong and gives you the potential to learn way more, and that was happening. So basically that's how it's kind of started like that. Now J Rod's back, they maybe wants to add something.
Yeah. So, what I got from that breakdown was that you guys were trying to find another kind of route other than the BRC 420 route for these avatars. So, J Rod, I guess if you could kind of continue from that point, I think doing my research, you guys decided DMT was the standard you went with, or is there a new standard? Or if you could maybe describe what the avatars, what standard they are. Oh, we lost them again. We lost them again.
No problem, man. I can answer that. I can answer this.
Yeah.
That's
So
fine.
if you know what standard it is, then yeah, we'd
Yes.
love to know that.
Let's describe this. Let's break it down. Yeah, this is it's still ABS 420, right? I think that the work that Jeff and all the Merlin been developed with this, they doing great. And I understand some people maybe don't like it because they maybe don't get it from the points like all the things that they be doing. I understand maybe some people don't like what happened in the past, but in my opinion, they bring it up a very nice tools. I remember back in the days when I was testing the 2D bitmap game, right? So it was a nice experience in the beginning, making me even more bullish. So basically, it's still a BRC 420. The thing that we're looking for was like when talking BRC 420 and say like BRC 420.io, the web page. when we say like it cannot happen like that, was just about the web page itself, the experience, the mint experience that we don't have in place, right? But
Gotcha.
about the BRC-420 standard, we using there, I think it's a, I mean, it's fully compatible with all the things Bitmap, right? Was the first presented to have access to the Bitmap and decoration maps, let's say like that in the early days, right? So we using that. The thing was like we developed this, we let's say ordinals itself, right, before the GMT. So we designed the whole code in the way that's like if somebody wants to make a mint, let's say with MageKey, then or these are or the now Genesis, whatever, you can mint, the tool. By the way, we're gonna make this all open source to the community. You can make a mint process in any of those mint platforms with this. The same way
Wow.
that, yes, the same way we develop a script, and basically that person is gonna mint the scripts and gonna generate the avatar. It's fully on chain using recursive and also use the DMT, but in a different side from like because DMT consisted in the idea to take information from block data, right? So we developed a way that you can deploy these in any of those launch pads. You can deploy these if you want, right? It took the inscription ID when somebody's minting. They took the inscription ID and provide these as a seed to the randomizer, which means it's no way to predict it. Not even us as the team can predict how the collection is gonna looks like, right? It
Gotcha.
it depends by the mint. When somebody clicks mint, they're gonna generate the inscription ID. Then the code's gonna pull out the inscription ID and characters and convert to numbers. Then see the randomizer for finally put together all the textures that it's recursive and mount together with the 3D. All that was already possible, right? Was already possible to anyone that want to mint. And but we decided to take this as a step forward, right? Was a big goal by the time because we realized, okay, we can finally make the whole creation of avatar process in just one click, one single click. And then we like, okay, how are we gonna do now? We already knew the top was building relentless on the L1, all the things that they be doing, right? So we knew that was gonna have like block drops. We're gonna have block drops. That is the ability to provide more to the collections. So we think we say we talk, me and J Raw, we start to talk, say, hey, we should take a step further and let's take the team this to another level. I was already in touch with the block runner guys by the time. Let's say like let's present this to these guys, have a more conversation about the project, and let's figure out if we can implement into the standard they already have in place for all those UNATs. And we kind of like create a new standard with together with these guys that is called UNAV, that is unique non-arbitrary avatars. And that was kind of like happening. They start to work with us. We'll talking like multiple days, and we put together the devs in contact to make sure. And we kind of spend like another 1 month, 1.5 months just to make it happen to this side, to the DMT that you guys know as from block runners, and to be able to be compatible to all the tools that they've been developed. So just want to make this clean to anyone that is listening to the program, and even for you guys, like both codes is gonna to be open source for you, for anyone in the community. We're gonna open source
Gotcha.
both codes. We're gonna open source if somebody wants to launch to the top protocol, let's say like that, and with the block runs, because in that way, you're gonna be need to launch with mscribe. But if you don't wanna be on this standard, but you still wants to launch a collection of your avatars, you can use the first code that's gonna be open source too. So you don't need to be there. You can meet on any of those launch pads.
Gotcha. So let's see if I understand this correctly. So you guys are still utilizing the BRC 420 standard. So you haven't messed with that, like the actual asset standard. But what you have done is make that standard, make you able to be able to launch it how you want in terms of whitelist and stuff like that. Did I get that right?
Exactly, man. It's exactly like
Okay.
that. And plus the ability to even be part of the top ecosystem with the GMT side.
Gotcha.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. So you guys obviously have to create an indexer for that, right? Yourself. because the original indexer isn't going to track that BRC 420. Actually, it probably would still track it. But did you create your own indexer for BRC 420?
No, it's not a new index because in the original side, right? In the original side, let's say with the first code, the first step that we take to develop the code is gonna be just like any other collection, right? They
Okay,
commit and then need to provide to the secondary marketplace the information about the collection. And for the other
perfect.
side, as we were working with the block runner guys, they talk with the dev, we put it all together, and they're gonna be indexed in the same way all these other Unites collections be indexed by tab 2.
Gotcha,
So yeah.
gotcha. So basically, if I were to do a BRC 420 and I used your way of doing it and I launched it, and the collection launched, I used whitelist and it launched and minted out. I could technically connect to brc420.io and that website would recognize my asset and allow me to list it on secondary.
If you, I mean, I don't think you can list it on the secondary on the BSC for 20 marketplace because they have, if you remember, they have a step that is you need to deploy each asset that you want to sell
Directly
in the
from there.
marketplace. Yeah, you need to deploy through the platform if you want to have access to the secondary marketplace. Just like somebody have as we have there, somebody have originals. If he wants to sell in the BSC for 20 marketplace, he needs to kind of go there, find the inscription
Yeah,
ID,
yeah.
and deploy with the marketplace tools.
Gotcha. Everything in terms of the standard of the asset is the exact same though, but it just won't recognize it because it didn't deploy from their platform. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically like that. Because be honest, I don't really could how can I say confirm why the BSC 420 marketplace works like that, but they probably have a reason. But it's
Yeah,
there. If you want to sell on the marketplace, you need to deploy. It's like you cannot like you have originals. You cannot go there and try to sell on secondary. You
I got
cannot
you.
do it. So, but one
I
thing that
got
I
you.
want to mention that is important, we have a group chat with the Merlin guys too, and Jeff, he put us together. We contact Jeff and he bring it up a group chat and put us together with the guys that is developing the Bitmap game. And we make multiple tests with those guys, and they have confirmed to us that the model is fully compatible. We just need to provide after mint out, we need to provide all the information about the inscription IDs and all that for him and to be implemented on the new version of the Bitmap game that is in the way. So yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, in that levels it's fully compatible.
Awesome. So I feel like I really I have a grasp of how you guys are approaching this, and I think it's a smart way to do it. All right, J-Rod, I'm going to ask you a question. I hope that I'm not the bad luck here because every time I ask you, it disconnects there. But could you get into like this first, I don't know if it's your first, project of the Bitmap Studios, but the boxing kind of partnership with Foxy. Maybe talk about that a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. When I was speaking, did you actually hear any part when I was giving the shout outs to people? Or was that not?
I think you started to give a shout out, and then that's whenever you blacked out.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to, the Bitmap news community and so forth for the work that they're doing. So,
For sure.
and all these digital artists out there right now. But yeah, getting back to Foxy. So yeah, basically myself, Trillionaire, and A-Rod, we came together and planned the the BitAvatarz to be boxing, and that specific game is going to be in a separate. According to what I've been told, there's going to be two different types of worlds within Foxy. One is going to be that first person shooter world, and then the second is going to be where our BitAvatarz are they're going to be home, and then I guess two other bitmap development as well in that second world. So yeah, so that second world is currently in development right now, um, and once that is fully developed, BitAvatarz will be in that world. There will be a boxing ring, and they will go toe to toe, boxing against each other. we came up with this concept because I had this idea of that Rock'em Sock'em type game.
Robots. Yeah.
Yeah. So we thought that would be pretty cool, pretty comical at times. And then there are talks also of a wagering system as well, and and other types of assets, obviously to upgrade performance. So yeah, all that stuff is in the works, and yeah, we're excited. You saw the boxing video. I think it's Bitcoin's first boxing game. I think it will draw a lot of attention over to Bitcoin, and this is kind of what we need basically. So yeah, we're happy.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like for us, Foxy is a very important partnership, right? They were the first one. They were the first one to trust us since the beginning. We were like, man, we because we started this profile and all this from scratch. We don't did it like some people do. Like they took their personal profile, just converts in the project, so they already have the followers out there. Now we took a profile from zero, and when we have a contact with Fox, we have like around 200 followers, right? So just to make an idea how they trust us from this level and how good and grateful people they are. We represent the idea. J Rod was in contact with Kimi. They host a space together, and we talk, we present, introduce us to A-Rod, Wade, all the Fox team. They all great guys. I know you guys cooking something there too. Seems like we don't have any details, but I know you guys doing your job there. Make establishing your presence as you should. So you already know how great those guys are in terms of partnerships and to bring it up ideas, right? So we present the idea, and the beginning was just like the idea to have the avatars, so they say, yeah, man, we can definitely do this. We can develop some gums, and we can put together that people have access, like somebody meets the avatars, they can have access into the Foxy game, and we can provide avatars that look different for the ones that we are using. We can provide the avatars that you guys, this model of avatars that you guys have there, so they have a different 3D model inside of that too. Like you can recognize when somebody is square head there. So it is BitAvatarz collection. So we present this, they support us for the time, say, hey, the idea is great, guys. We're gonna support you. And you guys seems to be solid one, seems to be serious one. We want to see how you guys gonna build. And from there we started to do it. That's why we come up with a new 3D model that was needed for more dynamic and human similarities, right? So they can reproduce all those movements from a human body. And it was by the time that we come up together with this idea, like, hey man, what do you think? Like, because A-Rod already told us, like, guys, you can also think about an experience that you maybe would like to have for those avatars. And then we say, oh, okay, if we have this possibility, that would be great. And we just come together. Me and J Rod, we have basically this type of conviction in the way. Like J Rod say, nah, yeah, man, let's make the boxy thing. And he started to send me videos from this game ahead that he mentioned. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. This sounds fun. I think it was be comic. And by the time that everybody was trying to make like more 3D like humans, there, we talk like, nah, man, let's make this with the same 3D we have. Let's make this fun, because I think this space is all about have fun and make those memes and all that. I think people would like. I think the users would appreciate the possibility to have something. Imagine as you guys have been tested there inside of the game, and from nowhere you just see one of those peppies, for example, and with a gun in the hands. I think this is gonna be fun. And then we think like, okay, let's produce this. Let's present to Foxy Games. We present the idea for the boxing, and they say we can definitely do this, guys. We can definitely produce the experience, and it's a more of a work, because it's a new, as everything new is from scratch, right? So it's been in developing. We've been talking with the devs, with all these things. Like, of course, we all know Fox is developing his own game, his own metaverse, and all that. So is yet to come the time to really, really, okay, let's finish this, he put it work. But we'll be there, the arena will be there, because the idea they want to do is kind of like you have the gun, and when you come in nearly to the arena, the boxing arena, you kind of, your gun's gonna be taken, you're gonna receive a boxing gloves, right? That's why they want to do. So to come up to these levels, they really need some time to really, meet me, J Rod, and all the Foxy team, we need to really come together to took the experience to this level. They don't really want to do say like, yeah, we can do this like a game that people go there boxing, but they want to really make it more immersive in terms of metaverse. So I think it's worth the time to wait and work on this like that. But yeah, the video is a showcase how it's gonna looks like with all the championship. We have all these things in the back end being prepared with championship, rich prize, the ability to people maybe play some bets and stuff like that, or market prediction, or it would be like fight prediction maybe. That's the way that we should say, right? So something like that. Yeah, we hope it's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
I think another
Well,
part too, the most important part was when we developed this concept, we had to um, definitely get a new 3D model. So that was the most important. So automatically that required finding the model kind of with the same type of structure, and that could have human-like movements. And we found that we actually had to inscribe that model. So it's a completely new type of model right now, new to Bitcoin.
yeah, this is absolutely amazing, guys. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to really explain it to us and everything. We're getting close to that hour mark, and I definitely want to give you guys a stage one last time to speak to our audience. You guys can just say whatever you want. Time is yours. I'll start with J Rod.
Yeah. So um, what I want to talk about is the interoperability. It's a very important concept that that is part of this collection. It's BitAvatarz will be the first interoperable avatar collection. So whether you decide to use your BitAvatar, if you want to go play on the Natrix, you want to develop on the Natrix build, you're part of a community. I believe the Emporium's doing something also, and a lot of communities right now are building. If you want to use your BitAvatar to head over to the Natrix, there's a lot of development going on there. Foxy, on top of the gaming aspect, is also going to, from what I've been told, also have that type of development as well. And then, of course, Bitmap.game is a very big game project that is it will gain a lot of traction here very soon. They got a large community. We have, confirmation several times as of this morning as well too that, our BitAvatarz will definitely be compatible after rigorous testing. So yeah, interoperability is a very, very big component. The recursive avatar is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. Sometimes a lot of people don't even understand that concept of being recursive, but it's a huge thing. I mean, nobody has really ever done that. Um, so digital artists usually design their their avatars and other game features. So this is something that is very important to the Bitcoin ecosystem growth. Um, so yeah, I believe that those concepts, and then being the first avatar collection on Bitcoin, usually the first projects are the ones that kind of like lay out the foundation. And from this, we encourage a lot of people to come out, get that code, apply it to whatever element that you want to do in a metaverse. If you're going to do, weapons or so forth, the script can work in various features, and it's all on chain. And we have a lot of development. So we're early guys. I'm very fortunate to be here, and just want to thank you guys for having me and Trillionaire and Bitmap Studios.
Yeah, guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
That's a very important point. Is the idea interoperability. There's the multiverse, like characteristics. It's a single asset that's gonna give anyone that is a holder as like a some sort of like a passport to give access to all those experiences, right? Foxy, Bitmap game, and Natrix, and also we are developing ourselves. Like we have lands inside of the Natrix. We did a showcase with one of the lands. We put those avatars to do some breakdance just so to show people like all the movements they have. I think was not a better way to do this that being those avatar dancing. And so yeah, man, it's a part support. They're gonna give you access to all these features. We've been talking with those guys building on top of the Merlin tool with the vital mining, right? Those guys, they kind of develop some sort of a stake and stuff like that. So let's see how it is gonna work. If you have some sort of way that we can put this together, we're gonna put together because we get in contact. They say to us if as long as BRC 420 should work. So let's see. Tap just released today the TDA. So we are on this curve too. So it's an asset that you're gonna be receive access to all those protocols and experience, right? And the mint is gonna happen October 24, which means I think this is gonna be live maybe today or maybe tomorrow. Anyways, you guys know October 24, this Thursday, and the mint it's the price. We already make a post about the price, about the different phase, right? We kind of looking forward. We talk with the community and all those guys. They kind of putting some something in the charts. They make some reference, and we think we're gonna list the community. What they say is like we had two different GTD phase. We may just put all the GTD together so we can extend the time for both GTD because they are all early supporters and early collabs we have. So they should have more time to really get it inside. And even though like even more because mscribe didn't work with cell phone, you cannot mint from your cell phone, so they really needs to be on the desk. So we're gonna probably, that's the idea we're gonna push for. So yeah, man, I think it's there. I appreciate the space that you guys provide, not just today with us, but all the information you guys putting out all the time. And anytime like I think you guys make a very good balance. Is like the way that she's act and the way Yagobi act. I think you guys, it's funny to see how you guys really put together this, man. It's crazy. And also this type of appreciation, guys, you are very, very active. You even take like marathon doing lives and keep people motivated and keep people informed. It's like anytime something new come, you guys already put it straight forward, put together all this thing. And even the personal levels, man, it's like you see she's really, really speaking her mind, whatever. Like I believe this is the thing. I'm gonna speak my mind, but the same way, if he down the road, he figured out, it's like, okay, now I understand what's going on. He has zero problem to come up and say, hey, guys, was not the way that I was thinking. So it's just appreciation that I have to you guys in the levels. I think you guys doing a great job with this. And yeah, man, the content is getting better and better. By the way, I'm a holder of the Original Revolution pass. We're gonna,
Oh, let's go.
we're
Yeah,
gonna,
you're gonna get something soon. I'll tell you that. It's gonna be useful. I'll tell you that. So
yeah, man, let's go, let's go. We're
yep,
gonna
yep, yep.
whitelist all of you guys, all of the Original Revolution
Oh
holders.
wow, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, we're gonna put all
And
of you guys on the GTD whitelist, right? It's the first phase. So
Amazing.
let's
yeah,
go, let's go. But I want to say one thing before we let you guys go. And this is not just to you guys, but this is to the audience of Bitmap builders. Be like J Rod and El Trillionaire when you're building. And I mean, obviously, if you have your own creativity, that's not what I'm talking about. They're building for their assets to be interoperable with every type of possibility that bitmap can be in. DMT, regular bitmap, bitmap.game. That is true, like, in my opinion, interoperability innovation. And I commend you guys for doing that, because sometimes, and I would say about a month and a half, 2 months ago, not just the bitmap space, but the entire space got so tribal that it gets toxic. So I commend you guys for doing this, to build in every environment, because not only is it positive for the space, it's positive for your success, because who knows which one's going to really take off, right? So it's a smart way of doing things. So thank you both for spending your time to explain to the community what you guys have coming. We're excited, and it looks like J Rod has one last statement he wants to get out.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Jeff for Bitmap Tech for actually meeting with us. He's a very nice person, very compassionate, and yeah, I just want to thank him also because yeah, we had been in communication for a long time, and he actually believed in our presentation as well. So yeah, shout out to Jeff. Thank you, sir.
That's awesome. That is
Amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. Go. Did
Yeah.
you have something?
Yeah, just real quick. It's like as you say, like the
Okay.
importance to make interoperability and collaborate with all. I just want to leave this here, like guys, anyone that is maybe building any type of experience related to metaverse gaming on BTC, should send us a DM, whatever that you think that we can help or collaborate with you. Would be a pleasure. We need you guys to leave the opportunity to keep evolve. As long as anyone is developing in having us the opportunities, the idea is to keep becoming updates and implement those avatars in more and more experience and bring the community as a whole, right? So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Awesome.
100%.
Awesome.
Amazing,
All
guys.
right. All right, guys. Well, of course, you guys are always welcome back on Ordinal Revolution. It's an open door, and as you guys get close to launching, the boxing game, and tomorrow's the Mint, so we are going to try to rush this out tonight. I'll get the thumbnail going, but thank you both so much, and we will talk to you both very soon.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Oh, sorry. Well, that was another, amazing video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bitmap guys, you're either in or you're out. I think you should be in, but that's not financial advice at all, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was 100% passion right there.
Yeah,
And
100%.
the biggest part that I didn't expect was that they built for all the ecosystems, and to me that's huge. And
Yeah.
they're setting an example, right? So for you guys listening, I think you should follow that example, right? But thank you guys for hanging out with us. A very informative, educational, and exciting episode for the Bitmap Studio and the BitAvatarz that are going to be launching. If you do have a moment, please check out our partners, guys. BetBTC is a predictions market in the Bitcoin ecosystem. They are new. They are on mainnet. They will be launching the Create Your Own Market very soon. They use ICP and Bitcoin technology together to make it lightning fast. So check out BetBTC if you're interested in betting in sports or elections, anything, and if you want to create markets in the future, because that's going to be an opportunity. And then BitPerp is a perpetual leverage DEX, guys. Their paper trading competition is live. I lost about $250, but that's way better than what Shizzy lost. I think he lost like 6,000 already. But go and watch our tutorial on how to get started, because you can claim the paper USDT 10,000 and start trading, because the first place winner is going to get 100,000 BTP. Should be around 6,000 to 10,000 in value, depending on market cap and stuff like that. But anyhow, check them out for sure. They're going to be the #1 perps DEX on Bitcoin, or in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And Ordinal Hive is a aggregator for Ordinal Marketplace on Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2 with Merlin Chain. You can earn points by listing, buying, and selling. You get more if you buy and sell, but you get points for listing. And you can turn those into rewards later, like Blur did when they were doing their point system. So go check those guys out. And then Foxy is building in the Tap ecosystem on Bitcoin. The Bitverse, you can utilize your Bitminer. You can still mint those with the DMT blocks, and you can earn with those. And then also the first-person shooter game, the Clan Wars, that is about to get buttoned up, and we have a collaboration with them with the sniper rifle. So stay tuned for that. And then Fluid Tokens, of course, those guys are innovators from the Cardano market ecosystem. They are amazing UTXO devs, guys. Check out their staking vaults. If you are a creator and you want to benefit your community, reach out to Raul, the CTO, or us. We'll get you connected, and you can have your community earn. They also allow you to swap runes on their platform, and they split them up for you to make it easy and seamless. Finally, Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. So if you're a builder, you want to scale your protocol, reach out to the Merlin team. They have amazing builder grants, but you have to be a serious builder. We have had partners that have earned that grant, right? So check them out if you're a user and you want to trade runes or something that's on Bitcoin Layer 1 that's not fun to trade there. You can do it in an EVM type of environment on Merlin Chain. Thank you guys for checking out our partners.
Yes. And if you guys wouldn't mind going to check out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We feel like it can really catch them up to where we're at today. If you guys are looking for a VPN, we have the best one. We have Nord, 70% off discount. Check out all here. You should never be just going to websites without a VPN. It's dangerous. Someone can know your home address. So definitely go get a VPN. If it's not ours, then definitely for someone else. Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, we will both be there. If you guys are interested in getting tickets, get them this year. Do not wait for next year. They get way too expensive as you get closer. So check out our discount here. And if you guys are interested in merch, we have some of the best Bitcoin ordinal merch in the business, in crypto, really. So check out our website. ordinalrevolution.com, and you guys can come hit the store tab and take you here. This is all done through a third party. Don't have to worry about anyone getting your address or anything like that. So definitely check out ordinalrevolution.com to get all that stuff. And we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until then,
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.